Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Misfits. It's Hobby Hump. Hey, James.
Happy Hump Day.
Don, you ready to do the Humpty Hump?
No,
We're ready.
All
I don't
right.
want to hump nothing with you two.
Please, you wish.
We're not going to a Burger King bathroom.
um,
There's probably people on here that don't know the lyrics. Anyway, what's going on, guys? We have James. We have Don. We're the part of the Misfits. And you know, the Misfits, we like to talk about and show cards.
hmm
Have you guys been picking anything up lately?
uh, my latest pickup is for my Knicks, Jalen Brunson autograph. This is
Nice.
nice one. This is numbered. What is it numbered to? Oh, 49. It's numbered to 49. That's
How many basketball cards do you have?
I don't know. I pick stuff up here and there. I'm
You
into
just
my
collect Knicks or other things?
I pick up everything, but mainly Knicks. That's my team, or Jordan, or Kobe, stuff like that. But
Who's your college team? Do you have a college hoops team?
I never really got into college. There was so
Oh.
many teams to root for. I would just get into like the Sweet 16, March Madness, or like when football, it's time for the championship. Pay attention to some of the bowls, but I never really got into college. My son's in Texas, University of Texas, and they got Manning, so that's kind of fun to follow now.
I went to March Madness once. They used to come through Pittsburgh. When it started coming through Pittsburgh, I got tickets.
Mm.
I saw South Carolina. They were ranked number 1 at the time. They were high flying, high dunking, and they went
They
up
still
against
have them here.
Coppin.
They
went
have
up
them here
against
quite often
Coppin's.
still.
Yeah, they went up against Coppin State, and
Mm.
they were highly favored, and Coppin State beat them. It was a great game to watch.
That's what's so
Yeah.
great about the tournament. That happens all the time.
Well, you brought up the Running Rebels in the last stream. I remember St. John's and Georgetown were like a big deal when I was growing up.
Yep.
And then Duke was always a big team. And then Notre Dame for football was like, that was like the team. Like they would get Channel 4 presentation. Like what they have, like a contract with Channel 4. Like
I think so. You know, Notre
Yeah,
Dame they were the New York Yankees of college football.
they did have something that they were
years.
on every week. Did you see
Right.
Vanderbilt beat Alabama 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. Like
They
I said,
did.
I don't follow it.
Yeah, I don't really follow college football either.
Oh, okay. Well, I went to Penn State, so I'm a big college fan.
Yeah, I'll watch the Penn State games if they're on, or Pitt, but they're not always down here. Actually, Penn State's on quite a bit down here, more than I would expect. I don't get a lot of Pitt games, but Penn State seems to be on a good bit here in South Carolina for some reason.
Yeah.
So I get to catch a game here and there.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you picking up anything else? Don, have you been picking anything up?
No, I haven't picked up anything since the National. So
Is that right?
Yep. So it's been on pause. It'll be for about another year. I just turned in a paper for a class tonight. I got one left, and I graduate from grad school in December. So
Congrats.
there'll be some new things on the horizon come.
Look at Adam. Adam Splendid Sports likes my shirt. Fellow mantle collector over there.
Okay, we're going to throw this on the audience. Guys, throw out a topic, throw out a question. What do you want to get into tonight? I'll actually read the comments for a change.
I don't even know if I can see the chat. Let me see if I can see it. I lose you guys if I do it, though.
There's Double D. He's a big basketball, football, and hockey fan.
Peter B.
Jones a big hot tub fan with Jason.
Yeah.
Little inside joke.
Peter B wants pre-war.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Everybody always wants pre-war.
I know there's T205 and T206s. That's all I know.
Well, have you guys, Don, you haven't been buying anything. I'll ask the audience if there's anybody watching. And you, James, I mean, have you noticed a drop-off in vintage card prices, what you have to pay to pick things up?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking a 52 Mantle. just your average stuff?
Yeah, of course. T-Tool 6s have come down in price. Not much for the Hall of Famers, but for your common players, they used to go anywhere from like 100 to 75. Now they're down to like from 75 to like $40, depending the grade. So they've definitely come down. They've adjusted.
What about on your end, James? Selling? Have you been doing any shows?
Yeah, I've been doing shows. That's how I noticed the
prices are going down,
because I always try to honor latest comps, or else I'm not going to sell anything.
Right.
And I always got to lower my stickers, so that's how I know they're going down.
Yeah, that's why I always like to ask you, because you have more of a feel to it than just your average person who's sitting at home shopping on eBay. I think you're seeing both. You see both sides.
Yeah, the only thing that I see that's solid, like stable, is mantles, and cards with eye appeal. Like anything with strong eye appeal always stays. You could ask what you want for it, basically, because we're talking about a low end parallel, basically, for vintage or pre-war.
Yeah, in the modern era of grading, it seems that if cards are in lesser condition, I mean, it's really hard to give them away. When I'm shopping and I see lower condition cards, they'll sell for a couple bucks, and then a PSA 9 will sell for 1,500.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's like nobody everything's about condition these days, more so than ever before.
Definitely. I mean, I could go strumming through a box and I'll see 52s in there, and there might be some that I need to check off, but they're like have paper loss or like 8 creases going all across it, like roadkill.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking that drastic. I just mean, little off centers, some banged up corners, your typical middle of the road vintage. Like nobody wants them.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way they want them is if they're a big card. Like you're going to take a Babe Ruth like that, maybe. But if it's just a 1951 Bowman or something, you're trying to work on your set, you're going to pick them up for a couple bucks.
Right. But like for mantle, for instance, I've been moving mantles that were off-centered, and I thought I'd have to like lower it a lot to make it appealing. And people are still like plucking out a 2 that's off-centered and saying, oh, I think this is right in my range. I think I want this one, like without even haggling. And I'm like surprised, like, okay, so.
Well, not everybody's like Dylan. Some people don't mind that.
His cards have been overpriced for so long that that's what they can afford it too, and they don't care. And I guess you're talking about like your 60s cards as well, not just the really expensive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people that are going to watch us are collectors, and sometimes you just want a copy of that card.
Yeah.
And you don't, if you can get it for far less, and let's just face it, eye appeal is different for everyone. I've certainly bought intentionally off-center cards because they look good to me.
Right. And off-center doesn't necessarily turn me off either, as long as everything else is sharp with it, registration, color, corners.
Yeah, I'm the same way. As long as it's not like falling off the card off-center for me, but it's a little off, that's all right.
Yeah, like
I like some diamond cuts and some miscuts sometimes. I think those are the true rare cuts, the rare cards. Those are truly even more rare.
And Lou likes his off-center. They need love too. That's his motto.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the card. Sometimes it bothers me and sometimes it doesn't. It truly depends on the card. Some years you can't really notice the off-centered as much as other ones. Like if they have a big, thick, a white border, then you notice them a lot more.
Like the 54s are hard to notice. Those 64 stand-ups that I collect, those are impossible. The only way you can tell is the box on the bottom's up or down, but
honestly, yeah. I mean, if really the only way it really stands out is if it's next to another one.
Right.
Then you can tell.
Yeah.
And over the years, there are sets like that I bought, and then I got another one from the set, and when I put them next to each other, I noticed, they're not centered. Because you're right, the 64 stand-ups, they can look nice, off center up to top to bottom.
Right.
Left to right, you don't even notice that much.
Here's a perfect example of what, like, I'm willing to deal with this off centering. It's like 80-20. but I was so happy with the red boldness of the background. There was no snowing whatsoever.
See, that's nice of you to be okay with a 52 Robinson a little off center.
Well, when you're going to spend the type of money it takes to get a Robinson with nice eye appeal, you have to figure, are you going to really bust a bank and get a centered one like Dylan, or are you okay with one that looks like this?
That card looks great.
Well, I'm just saying, for Dylan, this is not a great card.
Yeah, well, Dylan said the 53s you could get away off center. I agree. The 53s definitely. Like I had some then until more recently. Like I didn't even really notice. They look good, little off center. No big deal.
Right.
It's just the way they blend in. You know, they don't have borders. So the card just kind of blends in.
There's some cards I refuse to settle for. And for those cards, it'll be something like, what's the difference? $75 or $100? I'm going to pony up the extra $25 to get a nicely centered one. But if we're talking $1,000 difference, now we're talking, you got to just accept the fact that $1,000 is more important to save than to get a centered one,
It could be 3 or 4 cards versus 1 card.
Right.
So Dylan had a question a little earlier. What are our favorite sets to collect?
Favorite sets? Don, you could go first on this one.
Well, I only have one almost complete set, and that's 76. And that's because that's special to me. That's the year I started collecting. But for the way I collect the Hall of Famers, you mentioned it, the 64 top stand-ups are one of my all-time favorites. I love the 56. I love them all, like all of us. But and I love just about everything Bowman put out, including the 55 TVs.
I love the 55 TVs.
Yeah.
I love that set. I have a near set of that.
I like them, but, I don't love them. Like, I like them. I appreciate them.
Oh, man, I love the Willie Mays in that, the Yogi Berra,
the Hank Aaron's great. Yeah.
Even the Mickey Mantle. A lot of people probably don't like that card, but I like it. It
just
looks
vintage
to
the time,
man.
Yeah. So 1950s.
Yeah. The design I think is great. I don't know. It's not a miss. It's just I'm not in love with it. Like, but
my favorite Bowman set, and it's one of those sets that grew on me. I wasn't crazy about it at first, like a lot of people. But the more I looked at it,
50. I love that set from day one. I don't know. I really always liked the 55 Bowman.
54 Bowman is another set that hardly gets mentioned. Hobby Love. And they go for a lot less than other sets from the 50s. And I think they actually look really nice. Like, comparing it to the 55, I really like the 54 look.
I have a near set of those too. And I mean, it's just classic with Ted Williams there, that Ted Williams card, and then 2 different numbered Jimmy Pearsall cards,
right?
And the story that goes along with it.
Yeah.
So Ted Williams, he had signed with Topps, so they didn't have the right to use his image, so they had to take it off, and they replaced it with a Jimmy Pearsall card. But all they did was change the number. So Jimmy Pearsall has 2 different numbers in that set. So if you're a completist, you need both.
And that Ted Williams is a really iconic card, to say the least.
It's a great looking card too, but yes, definitely iconic. Now it turns out after they came out with pop reports and so forth, it wasn't as rare as we all thought at one time.
Right.
But it's still not like still less than all the other cards in that set, and a great Ted Williams, highly desired card to have, and not cheap.
1954 is just an awesome year. You've got Bowman, you've got Topps, you've got Red Heart, you've got is it Conn's Wieners 54? The hot dogs up in the corner.
Yeah, man, you had me thinking there for a second.
Yeah, and there's something else I'm missing from 54.
You're missing the Dandies.
The Dandies, and also the Hires Root Beer test.
No, those are from 58. Those are
Oh,
58.
those are 58. Okay. But still, that's a lot of great sets from one year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Iconic Al is saying hot take 52 is the worst Bowman set of the 50s. I highly disagree with that one.
I highly disagree with that one
Yeah.
too.
Why does he hate it?
I have no clue, but I love Stan Musial's card in that one. I love Nellie Fox's card in that one. There's a lot of nice cards. Even Mickey Mantle's card in that one is so gorgeous.
That's actually one of the Mickey Mantles I don't care for. It's one of my least favorite of his cards.
Really?
Well, you know me, it's like the Mariano Rivera. Like I don't want to date these guys. I want to watch them play ball. And he's almost like in a pose for a girl. You know, like I don't want to date these guys. They're ball players. I want to see them with a bat or something.
Al is getting roasted by the chat.
Yeah, Al's going to lose his Pittsburgh card.
Well, that's a wonderful thing about the hobby. You can collect whatever the hell you want. You can have your own opinions.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't put them on social media without getting blasted, but you can have them. Just keep them to yourself.
Al is not such iconic anymore.
Well, that is an iconic set, really. And how about the mini Minoso in that set? Beautiful.
Nice
yeah.
Nice. He's asking now, artwork seems too cartoony for me. What's your worst 50s Bowman set?
Worse.
50s Bowman set? I thought he was talking about all of them into the 40s.
For me, it's 55.
I like them all.
I like them all, but if I had to pick one I could live without, it'd be 55.
I can't pick one I
that's
can
hard
live
to
without.
say. There's only 6 sets.
I can't live without any of them.
Well, you got 48 Bowman, which is no color.
You know, I love so I love the 1950 Bowman. I love them. And there's some great classic images, the Jackie Robinson, the Yogi Berra, the Duke Snyder, Richie Ashburn. There's some great cards in that set. But it doesn't have names on it. It's just a picture. So if I had to pick, it might be that one that goes away because in 51 they used a lot of the same images. I don't know. Like I think Duke Snyder's the same image for both years. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is Richie Ashburn too the same image for both years? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
But that might be the one, just because it doesn't have names on it.
Doesn't 52 not have names on it?
No, 52 has names in cursive.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right.
They have the facsimile signatures or whatever.
Right. So 48 Bowman. Let's dive into that one. Black and white.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
Some of the images, like Warren Spahn, are not that flattering.
I don't like the Musial rookie.
Okay, so what other cards could you buy in 1948?
None, but I'm just saying overall.
So if you want the players from that year and the rookie cards that came out that year, I mean, it was the era. You know, in the 40s, you had World War II. They weren't making cards, and that was Blockbuster. Mm-hmm. You know, they only made like the MP and companies. You know, after the play ball, you had the MP and companies. You had you had the play ball in 41, and you had the Gaudy. Yeah, the Gaudy set in 41. So you had this lull where you only had the only ones come to mind are the MP and company in 43. So you had this big lull. That was a blockbuster set. That was an important set for the hobby.
It was.
It has rookie cards of Stan Musial, Warren Spahn, Marty Marion, Enos Slaughter, Ollie Reynolds,
Tommy
Ralph
forget
Kiner.
Rizzuto with his puffed out.
Who else am I missing? There's another big one in there. Yogi Berra. That has a ton of rookies in it.
Yeah, but when they were already in the league for like 4 or 5 years.
Well, that's why it's so blockbuster. It's like the 86 Fleer basketball set. All those guys were in the league for years too. Although I'm not getting into the Star versus Fleer debate, but you know, when that set came out, everybody was chasing all those guys because they hadn't been buying their cards for years. You know, nobody was making basketball cards. But you can even say the same thing about the 84 Star if you want to do that. You know, there were a few years where they weren't making basketball cards.
So some people overrate the 53, and some people think it's the best one. How do you feel about 53?
I love it.
I love 53. The one thing, again, there's no names or anything on it. I just enjoy the names and the team names and that kind of thing. But I love the set. That may be my favorite Mickey Mantle. I love that Mickey Mantle in the 53 set. Now, I don't know if it's because I collected the 89 Bowman back in the day, and they had an insert in there, and it just always stuck with me. But we all have the cards we like and dislike. That 53 Mantle, I love
I
it.
wish Lou was on here because he loves the Pee Wee Reese from that year.
Yeah, he loves it.
I love it too. I think it's a good
I love it.
card.
He hates it.
I
What's he think? Minnie Minosa
Okay,
is the best?
Iconic says 53 Bowman is art.
It
Actually, it's photography. 53 Tops is art.
Oh my gosh. Well, which are the best cards in that set? We got Pee Wee Reese, which some people say is overrated because it's staged, right? You got Stan Musial, Minnie Minoso.
Musial's is cool.
I love so many of them in that set. I like the Campy.
The Ralph Kiner's great.
The Kiner is great. Man, there's so many. I like the Robin Roberts and the Warren Spahn.
I love Whitey Ford when he's holding the ball with the head behind him.
Yeah, it kind of looks a little posed.
Going back to the
1880s when they were, they'd hang a ball on a string.
You are hard to please, John. What the hell?
I don't know. Again, it's like a glamour shot. Like I don't. Looks like a photo some woman would have of her boyfriend in her wallet or something.
Well, I'll take your copy then, since you don't like it.
Oh my gosh! How about the one with the 3 near the dugout Mantle?
Barra and
I love that card. Yeah,
that's a sweet one.
The Billy Martin
Bauer.
Yeah. That's a sweet set, and obviously, Alex thinks it's the best set.
Yes, I love all sets. It's like, I don't know. It's like having kids or with your wife. You accept them for what they are or who they are. I accept them for what they are. Just like the 48 set. That was, I accept it for the time period. And to me, it was an important set. It launched kind of a new boom.
Yeah, it
because,
is.
Yeah, I mean, before that, what'd you have? You had the Bond bread cards in 47.
Yeah, Bond bread, and you had
so that was the first more widely distributed, with gum.
Right.
What was that other set you mentioned, John? Something.
What's that?
What was that one set you said in 48? Something with a B.
MP and Company?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they made those in 43 and again in, I think, 49.
Those are the paper troopers.
Those are the cutouts with the cartoony images.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So now you were saying in importance, 48 is up there. Segueing into Adam saying the 10 most influential importance in the hobby. What are they to you? 48's up there as top 10?
Well, I think it was an influential set. Top 10, and I don't like those lists, James. You know that. I don't like to argue over the GOAT. I don't like
favorite and influential.
I never show my top 10 cards or anything like that. I don't understand the obsession with lists.
So if you could have 10 sets and only 10 sets in your collection, there was a fire burning and you could only grab 10 sets in time, which ones are they?
41
just
play ball.
10 with all sports?
No, baseball.
Just baseball. Let's just stick to baseball.
All right, I definitely grabbed my Colgan's chips. I grabbed my T205s. 1976 tops.
Whoa.
Why?
Wow.
I love 76 tops.
I do too. I was surprised to hear you say that though.
Whoa.
Oh, no. I'd also grab 75 tops. I love that set too. You know, that's the height of my childhood. So when I first started collecting, so those are
Same
always going to
here.
be nostalgic to me. How many is that? Four?
That's about 5, I think.
I think it's 4.
4?
So 4 or 5.
Wait,
All
Colgan.
right. What else? I
Colgan's.
probably, man, I gotta take the 41 play balls, the 33 Gaudies. I gotta take the tattoo orbits. Gotta take my DeLongs. Hmm.
You got a lot of DeLongs? That's a tough set.
He's got a lot of everything.
I was just holding off. I was going to grab that Gehrig back when it was $500, and then the boom happened, and all these damn people came into the hobby and ruined it for me. So
Right.
that's going to be the one I'm going to have trouble with.
So after
You know, I have a lot of the other big cards.
how about
I think
pre-war?
the only other big one I need is Charlie Gehringer.
How about
I
like
have-
early pre-war, other than the T205?
Well, you know, most people would say the T206, but I'm not as goo-goo over that one
I like
as everybody else
T205
is.
better.
I like the T205 better too, and I like my Colgan's chips. I like those better. I don't know. There are so many. 1956 tops I got to take.
Dude, you're taking all my picks, man.
Maybe 53 tops.
56 and 53. I think that's 10.
Okay. Now I'm gonna cry that I have to give up everything else.
Now you got to watch everything burn up.
Oh man, I love my 68 set.
You wouldn't grab 52 tops?
You know, to be quite honest with you, it's not one of my favorites.
Wow.
It is an important set for the hobby. You know, I get the significance of it, but it's just not it's just not one of my favorites. In fact, until 2014, when I took all my cards out of storage and made this room, I only had 152 tops at that time, and that was Hank Bauer. That's the only one that I had from my childhood, and I have a lot now. I added to it when I first started buying again, and of course that was before the boom, so they weren't crazy prices at the time. So I got the Maze and the Spawn and a lot of the stars, you know, Bob Feller, like Richie Ashburn. So, but it's just not one of my favorites. I like the 53 better than the 52.
And Lou says, you heard it here first. President Mangini says 1952 tops sucks.
I did not say it sucks. I did not say that. Some of the cards I really love. I did not say that at all. It's just growing up, I didn't have access to a lot of those like I did some other years, so it doesn't have the nostalgia for me. Like that Hank Bauer card has a lot of nostalgia for me because I had it probably since I was in grade school. If not, it would have been early junior high when I got that card, somewhere in there. So that one has a lot of nostalgia to me. I only ended up with one from the 55 set too. For whatever reason, that was not readily available to me at the flea markets I would go to. So I ended up having only 155 tops as of 2014, and that was wait for it, Scott, the Don Mossy. And so now I have I have a lot of 55s now. But as of 2014, I only had one.
And Don, what about you? If you had to save some sets, let's just say you collected all the sets.
Okay.
You know, because me and you, we're not big set builders.
Right. John took a lot of mine, but 41 play ball is one of the prettiest sets I've ever seen.
Yep.
Those are artwork. Ow. So 41 play ball, 33 Gaudi, my 64 stand-ups, 56 tops. I love 58 tops too.
Oh, damn it. I left the 58 off. That's one of my favorite all-time sets. I forgot about it.
I like 62
No,
tops.
58. I got to replace something. I can't let 58 off the list.
You got him, Don. You got him.
I did.
Damn it.
I got to go with 76 as well. My first set I ever collected. I actually pulled cards from those packs. 62, I like a lot. Then I'd have to go with, man, I got to go with some of the Bowmans. Probably 53, and I like 50 a lot. How many is that?
I didn't count, but it seems like maybe you got like one more left.
Let's see here. 54 Red Heart.
Oh, that's
you
a
know
good
what?
one.
I can't leave my dandies behind. That's one of my favorite sets. And my 1950 Drakes. Oh, and my 58 Hires root beer. That's one of my
I
favorite
love those.
sets.
But
That's great.
That's it. I'm just getting rid of all of them. I can't pick.
If I had every set, let's just say I had a set, I would have to say 67 is up there for me. I love that set.
I want that set too.
I love the 67 set. 52 for me. I have to save that set.
Oh man, the 1960 tops. I can't leave that one behind.
I love 53 off.
Love the 60
great
set
too.
I love, you know which set I love? The 84 Donruss. I don't know why I love that set so much. I love it. It represents my childhood, trying to get
Donnie baseball.
Yeah, trying to get Don Mattingly. But I think the pictures in that card are so
There
cool.
are some really cool images. Ryan Sandberg, Cal Ripken come to mind.
Smith,
that Cal Ripken's awesome.
Wade Boggs is a great picture. I love that set. I know it's not that valuable or scarce or whatever, but it does stoke my fires with my childhood. So I think the 84 Donruss would be up there for me. 52, 67. I might have to do the 71. I might have to do that one.
That's a good one. I didn't.
That's 4. Let me see. T206. I'm gonna save the T206. Screw ya. Goodwin Champions. I really like that set. I'm there with Orlando, man. That set is a work of art to me. I'm saving that set. 33 Gaudy, I'm saving. The Propagandas Montiel. I like that set a lot. So many stars in that.
Yeah. You know what one I forgot that I'd have to keep 1915 Cracker Jacks.
Oh, I was just going to say that. That just popped into my mind. I was just going to say that.
That one. You hit it.
I got to get rid of something.
How did we forget the Cracker Jack?
Oh,
I don't know.
Another one for
came
me.
across. I was like, oh my God.
Another one for me, and it's probably not on anybody else's list, is the 1929 Cashin. What a checklist. Okay. What a checklist. You talk about Hall of Famers, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Lefty Grove, Pie Traynor, the Wainers. I mean, what a checklist on that thing. Hack Wilson.
Right.
Man, I love 77 and 80 tops too. I know they wouldn't be high on people's list, but love those sets.
Lou said no 39 play ball. None of us picked 39 play ball. Why?
I mean, I have probably most of the set, but we could only pick 10. I had to go with the 41. And then, I would like the 1940 and then the 39. Now the 39 has some great players, great cards in it. The Ted Williams rookie. It has that, what's that guy's name that was a clown? And he's laying sideways. That's a classic card.
Oh.
I can't remember his name.
He's like a mascot, right?
Peter Beal, no. Or if Stuke's in, one of those guys will know. But and the other thing is the salesman samples. I have I think 4 of the salesman samples. Those are cool to have. So I have the DiMaggio, the Melot, the Duke Derringer, and Chuck Klein.
Nice. Dang. So I think 10 isn't enough, honestly.
No.
I tried to tell you that.
We would need to pull in the pallet, load them all up, and try to haul it out.
Meanwhile, you're like, there's only 40 sets to choose from. There's so many.
Yeah, he said the 1959 home run derby cards, but I'll let you in on a little secret. because PSA and the grading companies don't know what they're talking about. That set's from 1960.
Oh, like the Leaf. Nobody said Leaf. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another fantastic set. And
Yeah, it is.
for those of us who collect other sports, you got the great boxing cards, you got the great football cards.
49 Bowman too.
I think that's a huge set, the Leaf. And then you got your Satchel Paige and your Hal
Al
Newhouse.
Shock. That's it. Thank you, Lou. Did you know that,
No,
or
that's
did you
49.
Google it?
Oh, never mind.
He
I know what
texted
you're
somebody.
Yeah, Lou doesn't know much about pre-war. I'm surprised he came up with that answer.
Why isn't
Well,
Lou on
he
here?
turned me on to this Paul Richards.
Do you have his 33 Gaudy?
No, I really wasn't familiar with him.
Yeah, I wasn't either, but they were talking about it on Alex's channel Sunday night, and someone said it reminded them of the last scene in Field of Dreams when the dad's taking the catcher gear off.
Yeah, I heard it's a beautiful card. I might have it. I mean, I have
He's like
some.
turning to the side, like. With his
I gotta
gear.
look. I gotta go on eBay and see what it looks like. Lou Rock says he knows things. Well, I'll tell you what, Lou.
He doesn't know how to get on here, apparently.
Exactly. He blew us off tonight. All this talk about I'm going to join you guys.
I thought he was off today. What happened?
He's just blowing us off. That's all.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, man. He's acting like his own hurricane.
Because he got a wrench there. He thinks he's the shit.
All right. Peter B. and Stooks. I don't know if Stooks is on, but you guys can't answer because you're going to know this. Cal Hubbard. What's his claim to fame?
He was an umpire.
This is a 1976 Shakey's Pizza, if anybody is curious what I'm showing.
That's an autograph that Lou needs.
So what's his claim to fame?
I don't know.
Who knows in the chat? Oh, wow, I missed some comments. There you go. Staven Sports Cards. Dom got it right. He's the only guy in both the Baseball and Football Hall of Fame. After his football career, he became an umpire and made it as an umpire.
There you go. Look at Dom. Don't let his age fool you. He knows a lot.
Dom is wise beyond his years.
Oh, big time.
Reminds me of a young me, except he doesn't talk as much.
Yeah, he has hair.
Well, I had hair at that age.
He's better looking.
I had big, thick hair. My barbers used to complain about cutting it. It was so thick.
He's smoother than you.
He definitely doesn't talk as much.
All right, so I have another question to pose to you. This is off baseball. It's basketball. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are because it is hobby related. Okay. It's something that occurred to me over the week where I was getting frustrated watching videos on Victor Wembanyama. And now you got Jeff Wilson pushing this Phoenix product to try to get his autograph. And I'm starting to wonder, like, how badly the hobby botched up Victor Wembanyama's rookie year, where his cards are getting devalued by the minute. And he's that next super unicorn that could do anything on the court. And I feel like the hobby just took a big dump on the collectors and saturated that market with him. And then the fact that they bought the rights to his autograph for a non-licensed product, it's like, man, you can't even enjoy having a rookie card of his with significance. Or is it that you want his autograph, but now you got to settle for it being on an unlicensed product? It's like so much of a catch-22. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think that it's a sign of the times, and I hope not the sign of what's the new norm, because they overproduced his stuff so much. And you're taking something that, it's like the boom era with Ken Griffey Jr.'s card, rookie card. You're taking something that every collector would want, or most collectors would want, and you're ruining it because there's so many of them. Now, for the unlicensed thing, I don't really follow it. Number one, I don't buy anything. Anything Jeff says to buy, I don't even look at. I don't buy. And number two, I'm not a big autograph collector, so I will never pay up for a rookie autograph ever. They're so expensive, and I don't need these young guys' autographs. It's just
Can't
me.
read them
I'm not much of
anyways.
an autograph collector. So as far as the unlicensed thing, I will say this in general: if that was Paul Skeens or Otani, I don't mind it not being licensed. I don't mind it if they just, Otani just has his blue hat on and it's signed. That's me. I know a lot of people won't even touch an unlicensed card, or if they don't have an emblem or something like that.
I don't like them.
I'm not a big fan. Just because I root for the laundry. So if I don't see the laundry showing, it almost like cheapens it. But I'm with Don. I'm not a big fan.
Well, I don't know what it looks like. Like if he's in street clothes or something, I wouldn't want it, as I've already pointed out several times.
No, it's just your normal Panini, like a baseball card with the Topps Chrome doesn't show the Spurs or anything.
Yeah.
They just put them in a black and white or gray.
Well, what's the year of basketball? Is it 72 where all their shirts are on backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
their
collecting
names
that
on the
set.
front.
Yeah. I mean, when I started buying those cards, I didn't even notice that right away. It doesn't bother me. I have all the Donruss sets that don't, show the emblems. You have things like the 68 Team Flakes. There's all kind of cards over the years where they did that, and it doesn't stop me from collecting them. In fact, that's another one I missed, the 68 Team Flakes. I love that set.
Well, I guess piggybacking off of what I just prefaced, like, do you think Fanatics overall is too worried about pumping money into the beast as opposed to taking care of the collectors and what they
without a doubt.
Well, that's what the hobby's turned into now. It's a lottery, and a lot of, quite honestly, a lot of the big boom of the hobby and a lot of the new people that come in, they're coming in for that aspect of the hobby. I mean, this hobby would not be this big if sports cards didn't go up in value, and if you couldn't pull $1 million card out of a pack here and there.
Speaking of
that's
newer
why
cards
people
like
came
that
in.
Topps Now, did you get your Otani from when he hit the 3 home runs?
The greatest game, the best game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that last week.
I didn't get mine yet.
Last week or over the weekend.
Yeah, I still haven't got mine.
And then with those, you have a chance to get an autograph sent to you, right?
That's probably why I don't have mine yet.
Yeah, so I got the Josh Gibson Project whatever, and I got a numbered one. When it showed up, there were 2 silver bags, and I was like, I only ordered one of these, didn't I? But I had to think, like, did I accidentally order 2? And then it hit me. One of these is numbered, so I got one numbered to 25. And I've gotten, over the years with Topps Now, I've gotten a lot of numbered parallels. I've been pretty lucky, but I'm not pulling the Skeens and Otani stuff. I got Jack, and I've ordered all their cards.
Are you buying Topps update to try to get Paul Skeens rookies?
I probably will. I haven't. Are they for sale? I haven't seen any. I looked a couple weeks ago because I don't really follow the releases of the new stuff. They're out?
Yeah, they released this week. Everyone's starting to rip those.
Yeah, I might just buy it outright. It might be cheaper.
Yeah, no, that's what
I would do.
Looking for is the Skeens autograph.
Yeah, because you buy 1 box and 2 boxes. Don't put 3 boxes, 4. It's cheaper sometimes just to buy it outright.
Right.
And then you end up with a bunch of stuff you have to store.
That's the problem with ripping, is you're left with all this stuff. What do I do with it?
Or you pull some autograph, you get 1 hit or 2 hits, and they're people that you'll never hear of ever in your life other than on that card. Yeah. That always drives me crazy.
Right. And then sometimes the base card is like a $1 card. Like you could have bought that and then saved yourself $100 or whatever, however many blasters you paid for.
What's Lou doing here? I don't have the choice. Lou, are you trying to join? Because there's no video and it's not giving me an option to. Oh, he left. He's just teasing us.
I thought George was going to get on here tonight too.
Yeah, George is supposed to get on. I don't know what happened. He's MIA.
Yeah, you're right, Dylan. I don't think. The 33 Gaudi, they don't have emblems.
Yeah, when he wrote that, it made me think. I'm like, is that right? Like, I never really noticed.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of your T206s, like your Walter Johnson, your Chief Bender, your Jack Chesbro, they're just pictures of them, their heads. They don't have a hat on. What's the difference?
True. Which is it? The M116, I think. Those look like
there he is.
There he is.
There he is. Those M116s, they look like yearbook pictures. They're just there with their hair slicked back, taking a little pose.
Yeah. The sporting life.
What are they? Those are they called ramblings?
Oh, the ramblings. Those are
same way.
Yeah, same deal.
Yeah, but
we're used to that with the old vintage cards, but when you're used to tops, you're spoiled with that. I get it. I understand why people don't want that. Why they don't want them, but it doesn't bother me.
Lou, we got to pose a question to you. Hurricane hitting your house, and you can only save 10 sets. Which one? And you have them all. Let's just say you have every set. Which ones you saving?
Okay, let me start off with I wasn't blowing you guys off.
No way.
I was having
that's cheap.
I was having wine with the wife. She's good to me, so I got put in my time. You know what I'm saying?
You're with her every day.
She's too good to you.
I'm sure she loves hearing that. I got to put in my time with her.
I got to put in my time, bro.
I mean, that's very romantic, Lou.
Yeah, we'll go, Lou.
Got to punch.
You make it sound like a chore.
Yeah.
Hey, she's like, hey, you guys are on live and you guys aren't, and you're not live with them. I'm like, well, I thought you wanted to have a little dinner, a little wine. So she's good, but she's so good that she's like, man, you've been busy with work. I haven't seen you smile all week. Why don't you go buy something real nice on eBay? So that's what I did with my overtime check. So I got
What'd you get?
Real nice come in next week.
Oh,
you can't tease us like that.
No, right? What the hell was that?
I sent you a text. James, I probably was talking to James. And
you didn't send me one.
Now you know where you are in the pecking order. Don.
Yeah, I know. Way low.
Hey, I'm still catching up on my YouTube, catching up on text messages. I'm still behind. All right. So sets, how many sets? 5 sets?
10.
Golly.
But you own them all. You own them all.
Yeah, I'm not a set collector, but I mean sets that I gravitate to. Obviously, I enjoy 48 Bowman, which everyone seems to be pissing on today. Love 48. I love the Yogi. I love the Warren Spahn. Of course, then the man. I love 49 Bowman. I mean, iconic set with Larry Doby, Jackie's in there, Page, Richie Ashburn, Duke Snyder, the Campy. So I don't know why people don't like the early Bowmans. I love the early Bowmans. 1950 is nice, but those 48 and 49 would be my favorite Bowmans. Obviously, the 55 tops, love that. 1960 tops. 64 tops. I just love the design.
I forgot 55 tops with Clement.
55 tops, bro. You got Sandy, you got Clemente.
Yeah, I forgot.
You got Killer in there.
Nobody mentions the 51 Bowman.
51 Bowman.
51
That's
Bowman.
a great set. I love that set. Now, so most collectors, they go goo over rookie cards, and that's all some people want. So in 51, like you're not going to have the big rookie cards, and that's probably why nobody talks about it.
1950 has no rookie cards unless you're a Don Newcomb fan.
No, Duke Snyder.
1950 Bowman? Nuh-uh.
Isn't that Duke Snyder's year?
There's no Hall of Fame rookie cards in 1950.
So
John
Duke
Newcomb's
Snyder's 49.
Huh?
Duke
Snyder?
Snyder's
Yeah,
49?
49 Bowman is Snyder's rookie card.
Oh, okay.
The most prominent rookie in 50 is Donnie Newcomb.
Bobby Shantz. That's his rookie. He was a good pitcher.
Well,
Still
I heard you
alive and
say
signing autographs.
Oh, a
I
hell
heard
of an
you say,
autographer, man. His cards, you can find them
what was the one you
all
said?
day long.
Donruss. But I'll lean towards the 89 upper deck. That was life-changing for me as a kid. So
Life changing.
that's a great checklist of my childhood. I don't know how many is that. 5, 6?
6, I think.
I love 71.
Okay.
I love 73 for obvious reasons. You know, I got my grandfather gave me the Cepeda from that set. I got the Clemente from that set as a kid.
From your mom.
All right, next topic.
Yeah.
You ready?
Good.
You ready?
Yeah.
Salvatore Perez. Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know about first ballot.
I mean, Hall of Famer's a Hall of Famer. Who cares? I mean, at this point, I mean, if you think he's a Hall of Famer, why does
said
it
first
change?
ballot. That was the question.
It doesn't matter. I mean, is he a Hall of Famer? That always drives me crazy. He's not first ballot, but you think he's worthy of the Hall of Fame? I mean, same difference to me. If he's a Hall of Famer in the first year, he's a Hall of Famer in the 10th year.
Right. The question is, will he get in on first ballot? That's the question. We all think he's going to the Hall.
Yeah.
Hey,
I say second ballot.
Second or third, I say.
the game changed when Joe Mauer made first ballot Hall of Fame for catchers. Joe Mauer, I still don't get it. But if Joe Mauer can make it first ballot, Salvi can, especially with all his playoff heroic.
Joe Mauer did it mainly because it was a weak class, no?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, first ballot,
He did
Joe
win
Mauer.
3 batting titles.
The class helps, though, if you're not competing with too many people. Look at Scott Rowland. I don't think he's a first ballot.
They just want to rub it in the steroid guys' face.
That's exactly what it is. Scott Rowland.
That is what it is.
I mean, well, he's got 8 gold gloves. I mean,
I never thought he was a Hall of Famer.
No, me neither.
Scott Rowland was nice, but he wasn't no freaking Hall of Famer.
He was not. I'm putting Greg Nettles in before him if it comes to a gold glove.
Man, I'm such a small guy Hall of Famer.
Man, he was
you have to
great
debate
defensive
whether the guy should be in. He's
what was that?
Not a Hall of Famer.
Who?
Anyone. Like, if you have to debate if this guy should be in the Hall of Fame or not, he's not a Hall of Famer. Now, in my ideal Hall of Fame is what I'm saying. Like, I had to see the guy on the field, take stats out of it. You know, in my time, I never saw anyone throw like Parker. You know, you throw. I just think of the iconic guys. They're Hall of Famers. They should be a step above, not the Burt Blylevens, the Jim Cotts. You know.
Well, just what blows my mind. What
like,
blows my mind with Parker is
Cobra.
But this is always an argument that I make. It's like there are a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that were never considered at any point by anybody to be the greatest player in the game.
Right.
And in Parker's prime, there were plenty of people that considered him the best player in the game. Even Myron Cope said it live on air, that many people consider him to be the best player in the game during his era.
These two probably don't know who Myron Cope is.
No.
Or not Myron Cope. I'm sorry.
Lenny
Howard Cosell. Howard
Cosell.
Howard Cosell here. You can say that with a lot of people, though. You can say that about Maris with 2 MVPs. You can say that about Dale Murphy with 2 MVPs.
But Maris and Dale Murphy were never considered the best player in baseball.
Back-to-back MVPs, no? Not even in the league?
No.
So they just
I don't
think
you think people considered Maris better than Mantle or Mays?
You're just giving away MVPs then? You're not considered the best?
No, but you could be the best.
We're not saying that. We're saying for a period of time.
Yeah, for at least 5-year stretch or something, or 10 years. Like, that's my argument with you when I keep bringing up Albert Bell. Like the 90s was Albert Bell's. Like he was a beast. And I keep saying that he's better than a lot of these people that are getting in.
I mean, he was intimidating, but I mean, he didn't have a 10-year stretch, bro.
The
Five
91
years might
99,
be stretching it.
91 to 99 was a stretch. And those were his years.
No, like Mo Vaughn to me is just as physically imposing as Albert Bell. Unless, I mean, Albert Bell was running over second baseman to break up double plays, but you know,
Wasn't running him over. He was like
I
giving him
said, I know you put
forearms.
up the numbers, but Gary Sheffield was a monster to me. Mo Vaughn was another monster. Bo Jackson when he was healthy. You know, Albert Bell was nice, but you know, I don't know. He just didn't do it long enough for me.
Albert Bell was the 90s, bro. Him, Griffey, and Frank Thomas were three players that owned the 90s from beginning to end. And Albert Bell gets no love because of his surly attitude. No
What
love.
year is his rookie card?
I think 90, I think it is. Yeah,
I'm having a hard time picturing his rookie card in my head right now.
The Red Donruss was his rookie card. I think it was 90.
Okay.
90?
Yeah, that's the Red's 90, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I you know who I was surprised about recently when I compared their careers? If you want to compare careers, Joe Morgan, we could say is one of the best ever to play second base, right?
Yep.
Agreed?
Yep.
Jose Altuve is close to matching his numbers, if not surpassing his
That doesn't
numbers.
surprise me.
Well, Altuve's one of the greatest second basemen to ever play.
Yeah.
You could put aside, you know, everybody talks smack on him, whether he cheated or not, and whether you want to put him in the hall or whatever. But as a player, he's definitely a top second baseman. And do you know that if you take out the steroid era, he has the second most postseason home runs in history as a 5-foot dude?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I think 5'3" is stretching. He could have been an all-time great.
He's like James height.
I'm so mad. Like, did it?
But he's just he's been a great player. I mean,
The
he
thing
is
is-
a scrappy little hitter, and for his size, he has a lot of power.
But that's why people hate the team as a whole, because they won the World Series the following year. They didn't need to cheat. They were
Right.
good. They didn't need to.
Either did Barry Bonds or Clemens.
That's a different cheat.
Who's Mark Belham?
I don't know, but I think he's being sarcastic. But anybody that doesn't think Jose Altuve is a good baseball player doesn't know baseball.
No, I've always known he was good. I was just shocked that he's on Joe Morgan's level, because to me, Joe Morgan is the one to put there as Mr. Second Baseman. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Morgan was fantastic.
I mean,
Right.
without looking at numbers, I think he's the next guy for like 3,000 hits.
I'll tell you this. In my opinion, Altuve is a first ballot Hall of Famer, hands down.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Not Salvador Perez.
So-
Somebody wrote that Salvador Perez is the equivalent of Brian McCann. And I kind of agree with that.
No.
I think he'll get in. I don't think it'll be first ballot.
look at
But
the position.
you know, they
Catching-
do kind of lower the standard for catchers, though, don't they? Because you know it's tough to play catcher.
Catching is so
It's a
hard
tough
to
position.
Yeah. But first ballot is like, you got to be undoubtedly a Hall of Famer. Like, it's debatable with Salvador Perez because he was injured for like 3 years in a row. I remember he had a hard time being on.
See, that's what I was saying
All
before.
right,
I
let's-
feel you got to undoubtedly be a Hall of Famer.
I mean, his playoff, winning a World Series, doing what he did in the playoffs helps. I mean, it's not a regular season type of award, you know. Salvi in the playoffs showed up in big moments. I mean, I think that counts for something.
All right.
And
I got a question on that.
what's that?
If you had to choose between Yadier or Salvi, who you picking?
Oh, Perez.
Over Yadier?
Yeah.
Yadi had the longevity and the health. I get it. Especially at that position, you almost got to put him in the Hall of Fame because catching is such a brutal position. involved in every play, getting beat up. But I would rather have Salvi in his prime than Yadi in his prime.
See, I probably disagree because I love Molina. I think he was such a good defensive catcher, and even though he might not have had the best bat when he was young or whatever, he was. I always felt like he was a real clutch hitter. Having watched him play the Pirates constantly, I mean, when he needed to get a hit, he did. He did something. He was very clutch. He was kind of like Yogi Berra in that way. I'm not comparing his hitting to Yogi Berra, but Berra was known to be very clutch hitter.
Right.
Smokey Burgess too. Smokey Burgess was another guy that didn't have a high batting average, but he was known to be kind of clutch. He always put the bat on the ball.
So yeah, Yogi's clutch 3 MVPs.
I put both of those catchers on Jorge Posada's level, and Jorge Posada's not in.
Well, Jorge gets no love because he was in a monster lineup.
Yeah, but switch hitting catcher, which is unheard of.
I'm with you, bro.
And he was offensively right there, batting 5th or 6th.
You guys are just Yankee homers.
Oh, come on.
All right, let's switch to another catcher, Buster Posey.
I love Buster.
100%.
I've been telling people I love Buster more than Joe Mauer.
Buster Posey.
First ballot?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, first ballot.
I mean, just
I think he'll get in on first ballot.
People don't even look at his play. I mean, he was the foundation of all those championships, man. I mean,
Dude, I got a Buster Posey story. I was in Cape Cod about 20 years ago. I went to a Cape Cod baseball game, got the program, put it away. 15 years later, I pull it out, B. Posey. So I guess I saw him play in the Cape Cod League, but you didn't know it then who any of these guys were.
Got him signed.
That would have been cool.
I love Buster Posey.
How about another catcher, Thurman Munson?
Oh, he needs to get in.
I think so.
He needs
I
to
think,
get in.
the thing is like newer guys that only look at stats always say he doesn't belong in. But those of us who grew up watching him say he should be in.
The eye test.
Yeah. I mean, when you go to the eye test, man, that dude was a hard player. Good player.
And if you could say what if, but he might have had those numbers if he hadn't perished.
Could you think of a better catcher in the 70s than a better catcher in the American League than him in the 70s? You could make the argument. Like, I think Bill Freehand was probably the best catcher of the 60s. But I say Thurman Munson in the American League. Ted Simmons was really great. But
Carlton Fisk.
Yes.
Fisk is up there, yeah.
But for sure.
To what you were saying with Posada being in the mix of that lineup, like Thurman Munson was the captain in that Bronx Zoo. Like, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah,
it helps that he played the position anyways. I mean, even if he didn't have the unfortunate accident, say he was healthy, a catcher playing 10 years or a decade of dominance for a catcher says something.
Yeah, and if we go
and just just the fact that every time he fought Carlton Fisk, it went the distance.
Yeah. Now Ted Simmons is another one that is brought up right now. Nate brought that up, and then Dom is saying that Munson and Posey's careers are eerily similar.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. I've never looked at their stats, but I've heard people say that.
Are they? Wasn't Posey a better all-around hitter?
Well, but Posey's
300.
Posey tailed off, and then he had that last year that was like reminded you how great he is. And I thought he basically retired prematurely because I was like, man, you still got so much in the tank. Like, why are you retiring?
He had other factors, you know what I'm saying? He retired prematurely because, family stuff. He did everything. I mean, as a catcher, he did everything that needed to be done. Like, there was nothing for him to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? He's got his World Series.
Who joined? I can't see.
It's
Rick.
Hey, Rick, you missed it. We all voted that Posey should not be a Hall of Famer. How do you feel about that?
F you.
You know what? You know why I didn't know it was Rick? Because I had trained my car. I trained my phone to block the words "oddball" anytime it came up. So all I saw was vintage.
There you go.
Rick,
Hey,
are you drinking that soda that you bought off a REA auction?
Blue
right
Bird.
So
now? That
Rick, what are you
80-year-old
flipping?
soda.
What are you flipping this week?
Hey, man, this will work good with Jack. What do you think,
I bet.
John?
Yeah.
Hey,
Little Jack with
I'll
this?
tell you what. If you give me about maybe 9 or 10 jacks ahead of time, I'll probably drink that.
Rick, I like the
I know
plates
who
in your
would.
background better.
The plates.
I
What
miss
year is
the
that
plates.
from?
Around 32,
29?
1932.
32.
32.
1932. That shit's still good. I mean, they put a nice cap on there.
Still
Rick will have diarrhea like he drunk prune juice.
Hey,
So what have you guys been
John.
talking about? Posey's
Hey,
a Hall
John.
of Famer.
Let me
Oh,
tell you
nothing.
guys something. My dad's grandfather. My dad's grandfather used to make wine, and I don't know. I think it was his father who made the wine. Now his father died when my dad was about 6 years old. So you can figure how long this is. And I was in my 30s, and my grandmother found a bottle of his wine. So we're talking about, that thing had to be made before my dad was 6, right? And my dad is 81 years old. And we opened that sucker. It was so delicious for about 10 minutes. And then as it breathed, got vinegary very quickly.
Wow.
But how cool was it? I got to taste my great-grandfather's wine.
That's kind of
That's
cool.
nice.
Man, it turned that quickly in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. The same thing happened to me when I went to Burns. I ordered a bottle from 1978. And you can't let that stuff breathe. That old vintage wine, you have to drink it quickly.
I knew it turned quick. I just didn't know 10 minutes. Like you can't even enjoy a second glass. You got
Yeah, that's essentially what it was. Like the first glass was delicious, but that was about all we got out of it. And like I said, my that bottle, when you taste wine from the 70s, man, I mean, you get wine for $4 these days that's going to taste better, even if it was an expensive bottle. People that collect that stuff, I don't think it's for the taste. I think it's just for the bottle itself. But at Burns, Burns, they go back to the 1700s. So you can order from any era you want there.
That was one of my favorite things about it. Like when I first did there, I did the touristy thing and just went to their wine cellar for the tour. It's amazing, man. It's like
I don't know if you know this, but that's just a tiny piece of their wine cellar. Yeah. They have a warehouse with 10,000 bottles.
It's insane.
From every era.
Place? I've never heard of it.
Burns Steakhouse in Tampa. It's been my favorite restaurant in the whole world since I first went there when I was, in my early 20s.
Gotta come
years
back,
ago.
bro. Gotta come back.
Now, but Marriott bought it now. So
you treating, Lou?
I'll treat.
All right.
I'll treat.
Never had a bad steak there in my life, and I used to just fly to Tampa to have dinner. Stay over and come home.
Yeah, the Delmonico with the old fashioned go to.
They have a nice Chateaubriand too, which a lot of places don't serve that anymore.
Yeah, next time you come to Tampa, man, or just have your wife call my wife. They'll set it up.
Then you got to have the bananas Foster for dessert, just so that they can light it on fire next to you.
But that's a whole separate room. You got to go to the dessert room for that.
That's the other awesome thing about that is there's a whole separate room for dessert and after dinner drinks upstairs.
Orlando.
I mean, I don't think I've ever had a dinner there that wasn't at least 3 hours long.
No, it's an event. You don't show up. You show up at 6, you leave at 10:30. But Orlando, you get what you pay for. I mean, if you want cheap, go to Wendy's.
Orlando, I'll treat you, buddy.
Yeah, that is true. You do need reservations ahead of time, and John knows that well.
Hey, did you guys discuss our chat this morning? Mention that at all?
What
about what you like and dislike on our text chat?
Oh, I thought you were talking about
what?
Our
I
text
dislike
chat
what you were
today.
posting.
You will never mention. That's like Vegas. What happens on text stays on text.
Yeah, that text thread is fire. You cannot. Some of the stuff we like.
If that text ever got out, we'd all be ruined. My chances of getting elected would be over.
I got the tapes. I got the receipts.
I just hope ABC News doesn't get a hold of that.
Oh man.
What's going to come out of this presidency thing? Are you going to now be able to do stuff with this, or it's just for fun?
Man, I hope so. So, because I have my whole cabinet, right? I have like 30 cabinet members.
Don't we have cabinet
So
positions?
far, I'm still working on it.
Am I on that cabinet?
Nope.
Of course you're going to be on the cabinet. So Rick has an idea, and we're going to sponsor that. As hobby president, he's going to be in charge, but we can set a committee. And so he wants to do a total pop count for the vintage rare sets. He's going to pick the rarest sets and have a total pop count, because PSA has theirs, SGC has theirs, Beckett has theirs, whatever. And he is going to have every rare set with those pop counts, and then we are going to know which are the rarest sets ever made.
Okay.
These are the kind of things I'm going to do as president. Now, Lou, you're heading up the Secret Service, and my personal detail is going to be Jimmy Guns.
Oh yeah, I can work well with Jimmy.
All right.
Who are you running against? Literally, like, is it Jeff Wilson or is it Sports Card Dad? Who is it?
No, it's
like
those
10
two
dudes I never heard of,
and many more. Card Collector 2, the president of, the president of Leaf, I think.
John, James just told on himself, and he didn't even realize it. This
What'd
cat
he
has
say?
not voted for you. How do you not know who's not on the ballot? You just told on yourself, bro.
That's not what I meant. I meant, there might be 30 candidates, but who's your nemesis? Who are you?
Lou, now I know why you're good at your job. You picked right up on that.
Yeah, detective.
He was just trying to start a fight.
The answer is what's not said.
It's
in between.
I'm wondering who
what's
you
in between the lines, bro.
Well, if you would go on to vote for me, James, you'll see the whole list.
Rick, he's too busy talking.
SportsCardRadio.com.
You haven't bought my vote yet. I'm still waiting for the payment.
Apparently, man. How do you call yourself a misfit?
Look at Rick.
I know. He's been showing it for the last hour, but John's too busy talking to see it.
Is that the infamous one Marshall?
Yep.
I don't want to see the cards you sneaked from me at the National, Rick.
I'm gonna ask you a question based on that Hall of Fame conversation. Like, I'm noticing in the playoffs, these starters, no matter how big an ace they are, they're taking them out in the fourth inning. Like, if they just have a hiccup, like, legacies are no longer going to be made in baseball. So do you see future pitchers being able to create a legacy anymore? Like, is that done now?
Yeah, they're gonna lower the standards because there won't be the 300 wins or the 3,000 strikeouts. The bench is gonna have to be.
I think it depends on, honestly, the individual player. I mean, if that player has some dog in him, like if Verlander was healthy and he was in that same situation as Garrett Cole last night, Justin Verlander is gonna be like, sit your ass down. Scherzer, when he was healthy and in that situation, he looked at the manager, sit your ass down. Cole couldn't wait to get out. He was not. He had, and the thing is, look at the analysis afterward. He had the stuff. He just stopped challenging the hitters. He was afraid to come inside. He was afraid of getting knocked around, and he was happy and relieved to be taken out in the fourth inning. I mean, this guy's making $300 million with the option to opt out to make more money. I said good. I always thought he was overrated.
But
he was Cy Young.
I don't think pitchers are going to be hobby darlings. Like I don't know if any pitcher will ever be a hobby darling like Nolan Ryan ever again. I mean, I don't know. Like Paul Skeens is so exciting. If he could have a career like this, maybe. But they all get hurt. and they all get yanked in the 5th or 6th inning. They can't get no hitters. They can't get wins. What are we going to go by?
Yeah,
And
they're Yankee
even
guys.
if
They're
they
throwing
strike,
no hitters now.
I mean, Paul Skeens is so unique because he gets 9 strikeouts in 6 innings every game, 8 or 9. So
How
if you
fast
keep
does
up
he
that
pitch?
pace,
What's he constantly pitch? How fast? 98, 97,
100.
98, 99?
Oh, yeah, he throws
Constantly.
100.
I mean, 100? No, I
Yeah,
mean,
upper 90s.
do you think
I mean,
for his
he's right around 100.
do you
most
think
of
his longevity,
But he
though?
rarely throws a fastball. That's the funny thing. He has that
Okay.
splinker, man. He
Do you
lives
think-
on that thing.
Do you think longevity, though, he should tone it down a little bit? Or he just, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
They only
his
pitch it 5
splinker.
or 6 innings.
So he doesn't throw that fastball that often because he recognizes in Major League Baseball, if you throw a fastball often enough, you're going to get whacked. I don't care if it's 120 miles an hour; those Major League hitters can hit it. He throws this splinker, which he kind of invented, and it's kind of he holds it. You know how Bruce, the old splitter, you would put
Bruce
it in
Sutter.
between your fingers. So he puts it more on his fingers, and I actually think. I don't know. I think I don't think it's that hard on his arm, the way he throws that thing. I don't know for sure.
You throw in
And his
triple digits.
conditioning's insane.
If you throw triple digits, you're gonna hurt your arm, bro.
So Max Scherzer, Verlander, are the last 2 pitchers you could point to that
Greinke.
are surefire Hall of
Greinke.
Famers. Then after them 2, you have what? Garrett Cole,
Clayton
and
Kershaw.
DeGrom, right?
Oh, you forgot 2. You forgot Verlander, Greinke,
Kershaw.
Scherzer, and Kershaw.
Kershaw. Okay, but my thing is like, then after that wave, then you got Garrett Cole and DeGrom. Those are like the last 2 bona fide aces to recent memory. After them, you don't have anyone, right?
And DeGrom, I mean, unless he does something drastic, because DeGrom.
Well, how about Aaron Nola?
I mean, I see Aaron Nola. I see Chris Sale. I mean,
Aaron
Chris
Nola's
Sale
a
is
hell of a pitcher.
Who's the dude for the Braves with the mustache?
Strider.
Strider.
Yeah.
He's too young. He's young.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah,
I
Chris
don't know
Sale
much about him.
Chris Sale will be the next one. I think I put him above Cole because he's going to win the Cy Young this year as well. He's got 2,000 Ks.
He had a big lull though. Like he came up hot.
Yeah.
He was real good, and then he had to
He was hurt.
lull for a few years.
I mean,
now
he
he's
was
back.
hurt. His whole contract with Boston, he was hurt. He's pitched more innings this year than he did for Boston.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him early on. I thought he was a nice pitcher.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see that he got rejuvenated this year.
And
But the
like
thing is,
Tyler
like,
Glass now could have been something special had he been healthy. He's been hurt most of his career. And how about Blake Snell? I mean, he's a solid pitcher.
Bro, you beat me to it. Blake Snell, I'll put in that category of next guys. He's got 2 Cy Youngs.
Shohei.
oh wait,
he's
not
nice.
Blake Snell. You got to be kidding me with Blake Snell.
Over Garrett
Blake
Cole.
Snell's
Blake Snell
nice.
Over Garrett Cole all day, bro. He's got 2.
Okay, for the field, Blake Snell is echelon, but I never.
Snell
looked
only
at him
pitches
as
like
a Hall of
6 innings
Famer.
a game, 5-6 innings.
Yeah, but he's a
game.
strikeout guy. I mean, he gets that's always been his issue, and that's why the Rays let him go because they're like he's just going to burn out his arm.
He's dominant for 5 or 6 innings, but that's all he
He'll
does.
get 9 strikeouts in 5 innings, but
You have to change the rules, I think, for pitching nowadays because
Well,
no one's going to go 300 wins or,
No,
all
you'll
those
never have
innings.
another
That's what
300
I
win.
said.
I mean, it's just you're going to have to change the rules.
I mean, if you're putting Garrett Cole on that next level, you're definitely putting Blake Snell on that next
Yeah,
level.
I'm looking at Garrett Cole and Chris Sale's stats, like wins. Garrett Cole 153. What does he have left? Like 5-6 more years, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's young enough to have
220. CC Sabathia is another one I forgot. He's a definite Hall of Famer. And then Sale has 138 wins. What's he gonna be? Lucky to get 100 wins?
Bro, you're not gonna get me on Cole. Cole to me is just so overrated, dude. Maybe I'm just mad at him. But he's just, I mean, his first
Well,
year
you know,
he was garbage. Then he
Cole-
wins the Cy Young in a garbage year for the Yankees, don't make the playoffs. And now when we need him, he can't go 5 innings. I mean, come on, bro.
You guys
Cole
are
is
forgetting.
tied.
You guys are forgetting a pitcher.
Cole is tied for the third most consecutive wins in history.
Yeah, but when you don't pitch to the 5th, you don't qualify. So I guess that doesn't ruin your streak. I don't know.
Hey Lou, you know today's baseball way better than me. Is Shohei pitching next year?
Yeah, I think so. I think eventually, if you want to utilize Shohei, bring him. Do a John Smoltz. Bring him in. Bring him out of the bullpen. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Lou. I think make a DH closer, baby.
Oh my
That'd be
God.
exciting to watch.
He'll have an impact every day. Forget
I'm with
worrying
you.
about him every 5 days. This cat will come in the 8th, the 9th, DHing, get those 4-out saves. I mean, and he's got the stuff to do it. I mean, and I think that will help his career.
DH closer. How exciting is that?
How does that work out though? If you have him DHing and now you want him to come in the 8th, how does that work out with the lineup?
I don't think it matters because in a blowout, because I was thinking about this the other day talking to my homie. When you have a blowout, you'll bring in the first baseman or right fielder, and they're throwing ducks just because they're losing 7-3. What's the difference then? They're still in the
Well,
lineup.
if he's coming out to close out the game and preserve the win, you're going to replace somebody for defense, right? You're going to bring in a defensive player,
exactly,
and try to close them out. They do that anyway.
Really affect it because he's a DH.
All right, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
I think.
Hey, I don't know the answer to this. I'm a little embarrassed by that, but why isn't he pitching this year?
Just because of I think he had Tommy John, so I just think just being cautious, give him a year to heal.
Yeah, no, he just started throwing. I think in August or something like that. He was throwing.
Did he have that surgery twice or just once?
I think it's a second time.
I thought he had it before because he came back from it before, right?
That's why I was getting him in the dollar bin. Because after the
well, that's the thing. I mean, second Tommy John. Yeah, they're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
but I'm with you, man. I mean, if they go to the World Series, any chance he might see some closing action?
Rumor because people saw him pitching on flat ground and he's just stretching. I mean, he's just getting his arm up. But you're telling me, Game 7, extra innings, you're running out of pitchers, and Shohei's like, "Hey, put me in, coach." You're not going to let him throw to 3 hitters because I mean, if a pitcher comes in, you got face 3 hitters. I take my chance.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll tell you, when he faced Mike Trout in that World Classic,
oh man,
one of the great moments in baseball history.
I already knew
and we all
happen.
have the card memorializing it.
He shrinks in big moments. So I already knew what was going to happen.
Is he the greatest baseball talent that we've ever witnessed?
It's hard to say no.
I'll tell you what, it's really hard because I'll be honest with you, Aaron Judge is it's so unbelievable to watch.
Playing center
but I think anybody that watched Barry Bonds would pick Barry Bonds.
I'm partial to Ken Griffey Jr.
I was going to say Griffey would be my guy.
Yeah.
Because when they were both off steroids, when they were playing like on the same level in the 90s,
660.
I
don't think any batter was feared like Barry Bonds.
Yeah, Barry Bonds, man.
I mean, they walk the bases. They walked them with
steroids.
the bases
Don't
loaded.
mess with Barry Bonds.
Steroids, though. I'm talking about without steroids.
No, I mean,
Ken Griffey was better.
He had a great eye. He'd stand
Let
right
me
on
ask you
that
this
plate,
question: How do
and he
you
would
know
walk.
Ken Griffey
He would walk.
didn't? How do you know Ken Griffey didn't take anything? Because everybody was taking something at that era. How do you know that for sure, 100%?
Yeah.
No one knows, but Rick, pipe down, Rick.
I'll break it down like this. All right. The all-century team, the youngest guy on there was Ken Griffey. He was only in the league for 10 years at that moment. People thought he was the guy. He was going to break all the records. He still finished with 660 home runs?
Right.
Griffey was when it came to and we're talking about players, Barry Bonds to me is still the greatest hitter I've ever seen. But when we're talking about in the field, hitting, the prettiest stroke in the history of baseball, it was Griffey.
I'm thinking Griffey because Griffey could throw Sid Bream out at home in a playoff.
Well, Griffey was great, and he was great all-around player. But I mean, I don't know anybody that watched Barry Bonds play. He was so intimidating up there, and you just knew something good was going to happen.
Yes, but
Look,
that was at the end of his career.
Yeah,
We
Bonds
didn't
was
talk that
great.
in Pittsburgh.
Bonds.
Now listen to
Wait,
me.
what'd you say,
I'm probably the only one,
He wasn't
maybe
great
other
in
than Don.
Pittsburgh?
Listen to me. I'm probably the only one here, other than Don, who watched him come up as a rookie leadoff hitter. So I watched him his entire career, and yes, he got better as he went. But do you remember the three National League championships in a row he took us to? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We lost to the Reds, then twice to the Braves.
He can steal a base anytime he wants. Anytime he wants.
Back then he could,
Five-tool player.
Rose-colored glasses over there.
He had everything.
Even Mays.
Listen, he had
no
everything,
one hit
but
the ball better than
he
Bonds.
didn't have a great arm. That's the only knock I'll give him, and that's why he played left field. He did not have that good of an arm. But everything else he could do. And he had somewhat of an arm. Wasn't horrible, but
well, he was great. He was great to get the ball, and he could release the throw really quick. So he was really
he
good.
wasn't that accurate. I mean, that's always how I felt about him. And I watched him. I watched him a lot throw.
I never worried about in the field.
Well, he was a hell of a fielder. Like, he was a hell of a fielder.
Yeah.
He just didn't have the strongest. McCutcheon's the same way. McCutcheon was a great center fielder, but he had no arm whatsoever.
No.
So who are you picking? Bonds? Like, let's just say, let's take steroids out. Like, let's just say Bonds was a great player no matter what. Because
Bonds was the greatest player I've ever watched.
We could all agree on that. You taking Shohei or Bonds or Griffey?
Oh, Shohei.
No, Bonds.
You get a guy that the difference here is the number of home runs and the batting average. I mean, Shohei's batting 266.
Now, I do have to throw Trout in there because Trout's first 10 years are right on the same level with anyone in the game.
He shrinks in big moments, bro. He's off the list for me, man.
Well, you could kind of say that about Miggy too for a while.
And Albert
Miggy was 19 in the World Series. What are you talking about?
How about Pujols?
What do you mean?
Miggy was 19 years old when he's crushing bombs in the World Series, bro. Miggy, you talking about Cabrera, Triple Crown winner, when he was 19?
Yeah, I'm saying he was a fantastic, like,
I thought you were saying he
best
didn't
player
show
in
up.
baseball for a while, right?
Well, I thought you were saying he didn't show up in big moments. I was like, at 19.
Oh, no. I was comparing him to Mike Trout as far as, I think at one time Mike Trout was the best player in the game. I think before Mike Trout, it was probably Miggy.
No, Pujols in St. Louis was.
Well, Pujols' last 10 years were not what his first 10 were.
Yeah, that was just compiling.
Let's talk peak years because we're referring to Griffey's Seattle days. We're referring to Pujols St. Louis days.
Griffey was exciting. He was that young, exciting player who just everybody loved.
He was just so smooth, like Lou said.
Yeah,
watching him in the outfield and
going up against the wall, making those catches, banging into the wall, hurting himself, and he could run like a deer out there. Yeah. If he caught up with it, he caught it, and he caught up with most things. And he could hit, and he had that pretty swing. Yeah, he was a superstar.
None of them came close to doing 50-50 like what Shohei just did.
And the thing is, if the manager wanted to play
but they
field,
didn't have manhole covers the size of my bases the size of my table either.
Dude, Shohei's still 6'4",
and they weren't limited on holding a guy at first base. That's a huge advantage for runners.
Yep.
I mean, why is everybody breaking? Why is everybody hitting? Breaking, doing new things when it comes to stolen bases this year?
It's more with the limited amount of throws to first. It's not. I mean, the base is bigger, an inch on each side. I think it's something crazy.
How about those baking mitts, man?
Okay, so listen, I agree that it's more about not being able to throw over to first because if you throw over twice, you could just steal.
Exactly.
I mean, you can take whatever lead you want, almost. But don't say that it's not a big deal to make the bases bigger because how many base steals are like an inch? Just they're out or safe by the tiniest of margin.
I agree, but I mean, I think
with instant replay, you could see exactly that margin.
Most of these I mean, I don't know the data, but I think most of the stolen bases are on that third when they know the pitcher is not even going to throw their way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Ricky Henderson, I would put on that level of like amazing player, all tools. Ricky was.
Do you imagine Ricky stealing with today's rules?
1,000 steals.
200. 200
Yeah.
Dude, it'd be unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Like you could only throw over twice, and that's it. It's a green light for Ricky Henderson.
He might steal every single time he's on base.
Ricky gone.
Yep.
Just give him
Ricky
third
goes.
base. He would just give him third base every
Hey,
time.
I will say this. So Tawny is, man, one of a kind. So exciting to watch a guy who could do what he could do. His size, stealing bases. You know, it reminds me of Dave Parker when he was young. He used to steal bases all the time, and he was like 6'7" or something. 6'6". I forget how tall. He was a big dude.
Does everything always come back around to Dave Parker?
No, I'm just saying, Otani's a very big guy, and you don't see a whole lot of big guys steal bases.
Dude,
You know,
Parker was
small.
getting recruited by Ohio State in high school as a running back until he blew out his knee.
Yep, that's right.
For those who care about baseball.
Omar Marino.
Those were your typical Frank Tavares for the Pirates. Those were your typical guys who led the league in stolen bases. Davey Lopes, Bill North, Rod Carew,
Ron
Vince
LaFleur.
Coleman.
Ron LaFleur, right. Yeah,
So,
Vince Coleman, great Tim Raines.
So with
Raines.
these new rules, do you think someone might have a chance to catch Ricky Henderson's record now?
Oh,
No way.
Hell no.
I mean, where's Lou Brock at? I mean, nothing has changed. Kenny Lofton was probably the best base runner of my generation. He's at what, 6?
He's a Hall of Famer in my eyes, by the way.
Well, the guys that were stealing this year, I mean, how many led it? What, 60, 61, 62?
Like Ellie De La Cruz is a base stealer. He's at, I don't know.
Acuna, if he didn't get hurt, he'd be up there.
He wasn't on pace to get 70 again, though.
Okay, so Ellie De La Cruz, one of the best base stealers of this year. What do you have, 62, 63?
Yeah, he could do that for the next 15 years and not even touch.
But what I'm saying, like, take the single season. He's not even halfway to Ricky Henderson.
No.
He's not even halfway there.
Yeah, no, Ricky was.
Here's the thing about Ricky Henderson is, number one, he was a leadoff, so he got up a lot, and number two, he was one hell of a hitter, so he got on base a lot.
And he was.
100%.
He had.
I mean, if your batting average is 230 or 240, with 30 home runs, are you going to be on base enough to break his records?
That's true.
That's what happened to Billy Hamilton. Remember Billy Hamilton?
Yeah, he'll get 6. Juan Pierre. Don't forget Juan Pierre. Juan Pierre had like 81 year.
Right.
Don't forget Herb Washington.
Yeah.
Oh man, did you see? I sent you that video of Mike Marshall picking him off when they brought him in.
Oh, I didn't watch
He picked him off by a mile.
Kenny Lofton. Where's Dom? Dom would know the numbers.
What's Coleman is another one.
Hey, do any of you remember Matt Alexander? He was a pinch runner on the '79 Pirates World Series team, and he came up with the A's. He played for other teams. Came up with the A's. We got him from the A's, but he was Herb Washington. All he did was pinch run.
Dude,
at the end of the game, you needed a run.
Did you see this, Lou?
Mm.
Shohei he fouled one off his foot, and now he just fouled one off his balls.
Yeah.
2 pitches in a row.
He does it all. But Kiki just hit him.
Man.
You know who was underrated? Tim Raines. He could steal right there with.
He's in the Hall of Fame. How's he underrated?
I mentioned him earlier. I was a fan of Tim Raines.
Tim Rock Raines is not underrated. He's a Hall of Famer.
No, as far as a base stealer goes, no one mentioned.
How about Willie Wilson?
No, I mentioned him.
Yeah, Mangini.
Willie Wilson.
You know what? Maybe you didn't hear me because you were on the website voting for me.
He doesn't even know how to find the website.
I was voting for a sports card dad. Sorry.
622 for Lofton. But is he a Hall of Famer, Dom? That's what I need to know. Because I don't think he is. I listen to Dom. Dom is my all news for Hall of Fame.
Did you guys watch, what was it, 4 collectors? They had that Hall of Fame thing. Who might become a Hall of Famer? And Jake's smoking crack if he thinks Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer. He's smoking crack.
Yeah, he goes, Dick
What are you talking about? He's a Hall of Famer.
He said Dick Allen.
Well, come on.
Dick
He's
Allen
in the Hall of
and
Fame.
Dick Parker are not Hall of Fame because I think that was the comparison. He's like Dick Allen doesn't make the Hall of Fame for him. I'm like, what?
Dick
I
Allen
never thought
is the Hall
Harold
of Fame.
Baines was
Okay,
a top.
again,
I mean, come on.
again, when you talk to people who watched him play, they want to see him in. When you talk to people who watch Louis Tiant play, they want him in. But these guys didn't watch him play. They're looking at stats.
Yes.
And that's all they look at. So, again, it's back to the eye test.
You know, he should be a Hall of Famer. I'm more in, hey, if it's 5 or 6 years, under 10 years, and they were the best at their position, they should be in the Hall. I don't care about 15 years of crap. If they were the best players at their position, like Vida Blue. Vida Blue was 3 World Series, MVP, Rookie of the Year. The guy was totally dominant for multiple years. He should be in the Hall.
I mean, if you take like the first 5 years of Donnie Baseball's career.
Was it Ted Simmons who didn't make the 5% his first year? He was off the ballot, and then he got in.
Who was that pitcher?
You know what? I couldn't argue with Ted Simmons. And again, they kind of treat catchers a little differently. But he was one hell of a catcher.
Yeah, catching is a whole new level.
He was a scrappy hitter too.
Who was that pitcher that you sent us that led the league in strikeouts like 5 years? Doesn't get a sniff at the Hall of Fame?
For me?
There was some pitcher that
Kerry Wood?
No, from like the 60s. He led the league in strikeouts like
Bob Veal?
Bob Veal.
No.
No.
No, are you talking about Sudden Sam McDowell?
Yeah.
That one.
He was one hell of a pitcher. I could make an argument easily.
You know he's from Pittsburgh, John?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. He's from Monroeville, and he went to Central Catholic.
Man, I watched him strike out 3 guys in the All-Star game, and I forget who the first one was. And then it was Willie Mays. I mean, he made him look silly, and then he made Willie McCovey look silly. I sent it to you, Rick, since you're a Giants fan.
Oh, thanks.
What you smoking? I forgot to ask you.
No, McDowell threw hard. Look up his stats. He was a great pitcher. And how about Mike Marshall? I mean, he changed that whole, reliever position. He pitched 106 straight games, or something crazy. He holds the all-time record.
How about Pete LeCoq?
Oh, I remember. I remember him. I wouldn't call him a Hall of Famer. How about Don Assey?
LeCoq's dad, Peter Marshall.
Yeah.
How about Pete Vukovich?
Jason is cracking me up. He said, Harry Carey wants his glasses back, John.
Hey, no problem. He can have them.
Those are tight.
That makes me laugh, man.
Just laughing at
Just
James.
remember, clothes don't make the man makes the clothes. These things are banging.
If you don't wear them,
it's funny that the guys that are busting my chops are 40-some or 50-year-old people wearing their hats on backwards.
Hey, I'm honoring Griffey, all right? That's my guy.
I might be 43, but I look 25.
63.
That's only because you have your hat on backwards.
I'm surprised you can see that.
Rick immediately turns his back over.
Hey, Orlando, you were asking me about if you were going to be an ambassador in my cabinet, and that's an absolute yes. I'm making you ambassador to Florida card shows.
What? What kind of ambassador is that?
That's a great ambassadorship. He goes to all the card shows.
Ambassador to Cuba.
And the
he videos them. Well, he could do that too.
All flea markets.
I don't want him to get arrested or killed or anything.
What's my position?
We're not allowed
John?
to travel to Cuba. Are we allowed to travel there now?
Yeah, you can travel.
I don't even know.
You traveled to Cuba for like the last couple of years.
Yeah, I know, but you're not allowed to come out of Cuba though, right?
You go to certain parts.
I mean, what I heard Puig had to go through to get here, and Abreu. It didn't sound fun.
I don't know. My brother, he travels there a lot for vacation, but
Well, they lifted that. That's all gone, right?
What's that?
They lifted that where they can't come in.
Embargo. Yeah, he brings back cigars and stuff. So
yeah,
No, we could travel there, but I don't think you're still allowed to come from Cuba, are you? Don't you still have to sneak out?
Like residents and citizens?
Yeah, if you're Cuban.
Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah, because Puig had to pay somebody, and he had to travel in a container ship or some crap
That was
and
before,
sneak into the country.
Yeah,
El Duque came
El
on.
Duque too, yeah. Yeah.
Rosarena. Why do you think he played for the Mexican team? Even though he's Cuban, Randy Rosarena played for the Mexican team because he went through Mexico, and he met his wife in Mexico, and they treated him well. And he went to the president of Mexico and said, "Look, if you make me a citizen, I'll play for the for Mexico and represent them in WBC." And he became a citizen like a week later. They cut all the red tape and made him a citizen right then and there.
Yeah. Hey Dan, I'm definitely putting Chris from Missouri. He's definitely going to be the ambassador of Strongsville. And what we're going to do is we're going to make Strongsville the new vintage national, right? We're going to expand that a little bit because we don't, most of us, and certainly the people that are going to Strongsville, they don't go for the casino type of breaking and all the bullshit that goes on at the national. They're just going for like the vintage stuff and the mingle. So Chris from Missouri is going to make your Strongsville the new vintage national. What do you think?
I got to check my schedule.
And it's a great venue, and that way the Misfits can get the same house every year.
Yes. Hopefully we didn't
until somebody catches on and snakes it from us.
Yeah, I think someone's gonna snake it, bro. But I think I'm gonna be able to go. I just gotta check my schedule, make sure I got nothing else going on.
Nate says
I gotta check my schedule.
You see, Nate.
Should we check with your people? You want to have your people call my people?
Oh yeah.
So what happened to the national? The national's not the vintage national.
My God, I had to walk way too far to find vintage cards. You got to go through all the modern cards and all the crap and that back room, and then all the people, like all the vendor tables. My God, it's like running a marathon.
I was glad James was one of the first tables. Like James was in a perfect area, the red carpet, good on your feet, right by the entrance. I was like, I don't even have to travel that far.
But I mean, don't you feel bad for Rick? He has to wear Depends walking around there. He can't go that long without peeing.
Well, he wears them anyways, so.
What do you mean, man? John, you were sitting at the bar the whole goddamn time.
That was the last day. I had enough.
You got tired of looking at baseball.
I'll tell you what, I was so excited. There was a seat there. I couldn't believe it. So I sat down and I was waiting for you guys, but I couldn't believe it because every time I saw that bar, it was packed. So when there was a seat, I had to sit down just for the principle of it.
So Nate asked a question. What's up with Fanatic canceling their event? Well, the next event was in Orlando. And they put out a statement saying that they didn't think it was right. And, honestly, I thought it was the right call. South Florida is still reeling. A lot of it's still underwater. I mean, the reason they said it was because they didn't feel it was a good time to be selling cards, promoting cards, while South Florida was still healing from all these hurricanes. So that's why they canceled it.
Okay, card cutter. We accept applications. We just don't accept anybody. we don't approve them. But Jason, Mr. Fisherbike, has sent his application in multiple times.
Yeah,
and George has a shredder that he puts it through. And Jake has put his application in multiple times.
And the groveling and begging too.
John, that's going to be on the next T-shirt. That's beautiful and well stated. We accept many applications. We just don't accept anybody.
we should get a.
We just don't approve any.
We should get a T-shirt with Jason and Jake and Denied on the book.
Oh, no.
Now we
get
do
reindeer
have some.
to make one for us.
We do have some. I don't know what you want to call them. They're like junior misfits,
Yeah.
but they're not technically misfits.
They could be the minor leagues.
Associate. Like
We
the
just never
bicycle club.
call them up. That's all it is.
When you have a bike club, you have prospects. That's what they are.
The toiling in the minors, sad.
Yeah, because we're the Magnificent Seven, and if we change the number, it'll be all screwed up.
The Elite Eight, I guess, or Fine Nines.
Yeah, but we'd have to change our name.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
That's too much work.
That's too much.
That's too much effort.
It's too much fun to deny Jason and Jake. That's just too much damn fun. So if we let other people in, we'll have to let them in. And then all the fun will be taken out.
And you got Scott ahead of them. He drives us around everywhere. He's our misfit chauffeur.
God.
Eric almost the Scott.
Eric earned my
Eric's
vote.
Eric is right there. He's almost got the foot in the door.
Yeah, his bribes are much better than Jake and Jason's.
Yeah, the problem is all the applications have to go through George, and everything goes in that damn shredder.
And George is not here right now because he's busy shredding.
Can Jake be a mini misfit? He's always mini. He's always mini.
I don't know. We're gonna have to. We got to come up with kind of a word for that. Not honorary.
Minor misfit.
Wannabes. Misfit wannabes.
I don't know. Like, what do you call? There's like teams that have little kids and they call them
Kevin.
something, but
How about Kevin?
it's escaping me.
The public.
The Kevins.
The Kevin misfits.
They're plebes.
All right, guys, this is going off the rails. I think it might be time to wrap it up.
Did you guys show one card tonight? One card?
I showed a few.
Oh, okay.
Here's an Otani
There you
stained
go.
glass.
Ooh, stained glass is cool.
Mangini bought all my cards, so I don't have any anymore.
Here's an Adrian Beltran. Yeah, you know what? Or Beltre. What am I talking about? You're right. I did buy a ton of cards from you.
Here's a Kobe.
And here's a funny thing.
Really?
I had a lot of those cards I bought from you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I had
just
that
send
33
them
Lloyd
back to
Wayner.
me then.
I had the 69 Johnny Bench I bought from you. And I have the 34 Dizzy Dean, but I needed the 33 for my set, so I grabbed that from you.
Well, you can just send the other ones back.
Nope, I'm going to hang on to them unless you start collecting again and really want them back.
No, joking.
I mean, one of the great advantages of being a misfit is having first come, first serve. I was going to hit you guys up right before Christmas. Like, what you guys got? Ooh, I love that card. That's awesome.
Here's one for Rick, Brock Purdy.
There we go.
Hey, Dan, if you missed the Misfits house at the National, that's it. We would stay at the same one for Strongsville. That place was fantastic. Oh, wait.
It's
That
closer
place
to Strongsville
No,
than
that
the
place
National.
sucked.
That place
We're
sucks.
getting another one next time. That place was terrible. Don't book it.
Tariq Skubal, Triple Crown winner.
I got Pujols' last baseball card. I don't have much on my desk. Well, the 76.
Hall of Famer right here, man.
Is that
Who is
the
that?
Freak? Is
I
that the
can't
Freak?
tell who it is.
That's the Freak.
Lincecum.
Oh,
Timmy Lincecum.
Future Hall of Famer right here, baby.
See, you, oh my gosh, 12 starts. What? How many starts?
Look at this.
Relax, bro.
First
I
rookie,
agree, John.
first rookie with a 1.96 ERA since 1913.
Oh my goodness. I bet you everyone said the same thing after Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game. Oh my God.
Well, they said the same thing after Mark Fidrich's 1976 year.
Exactly, bro. Right. But that's you maybe you
And
might-
Fernando Valenzuela, everybody thought he'd be a Hall of Famer.
But James, this was like 30 minutes ago with DeGrom. He was on the fast track. I mean, shoot, you got Johan Santana, you got the Freak. How many Cy Youngs does the Freak have? 2. You got the King Felix. I mean, if these guys ain't in the Hall of Fame, DeGrom ain't gonna make it. Look at Sloan.
The greatest.
No, it's a
rookie
shame.
card
It's a
of
shame
all
that
time.
he's been It's a shame he's been hurt because he's such a good pitcher.
Oh yeah,
So much fun to watch pitch too.
it was good.
All right, fellas.
I got fascinated with him
I'm gonna roll.
when he was younger because I was watching a game and they were pinch hitting him.
I know he doesn't even know.
What happened?
I'm leaving. See ya.
We're all leaving.
I
We're
gotta
all
roll.
leaving. I need to wrap this up because I got to go.
Me too.
I got more wine to drink. Holiday's got 200 wins.
We'll see you.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to our nonsense. We appreciate it. On behalf of all the misfits, we're missing a couple. And hey guys, thanks for jumping on with me tonight.
Stay tuned next week, Wednesday again.
Vote for John.
Hobby Hump every Wednesday night. Hobby Hump.
Vote for John. Orlando put the link in the chat. That's why he has a wrench and you don't. He put the link in the chat.
John's running?
Orlando put the link.
I didn't know that.
Man,
Go
James. You know, Lou, I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch that.
This is why I got you, bro.
This is why you're heading up my Secret Service.
Yes. It's what's not said that speaks.
I love you, John. You already got several votes by me, man.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Take care, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Go Yankees. All rise.